Good morning, everybody. Excuse me. Welcome to my channel today. My name is Donna, and this is Fancy Fiber Forum. It's early for me. I've been up since 8:30, I think. That's early for me. But it's Monday, and my son is not here. He's at work. So I thought I would go ahead and catch y'all up on what's been going on, because there's quite a bit to catch you up on. Today is January 27th, 2025. And I am coming to you from West Central Missouri. And if you're new here, I know I've had a couple of new subscribers lately. If you're new here, I would like to welcome you to the Fancy Fiber family. I hope you enjoy what I have to offer, and I hope you stick around for a while. I'm getting really close to, I'm really getting close to that milestone to be monetized, so we'll see what happens. If you're a returning viewer and subscriber, family member, thank you for always coming back and watching. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate all of you, whether you're old, new, and in between. I'm having a bad hair day, so I thought I would sport a hat this morning and spare you the awfulness of the hair that needs to be cut. It's growing out and it just doesn't want to do what I need it to do. So anyway, with that, welcome. Like I said, there's a lot going on, so I'm going to cover quite a bit today. So I hope you stick around till the end, because there's a little something extra at the end that I'm going to remind you all about. So for those of you who are watching for the first time, this channel is all about crochet and fancy fiber, because we love fancy fiber here. If you want to go back and look at some of my videos, I have lots of great yarn hauls, and where I share my love of fancy fiber. But I love all yarn. I just prefer to collect the fancier fiber. And with that, I'm going to share a recent acquisition that, yes, came from Temu. I was roped in by Hannah at Cozy Cottage Crochet, I think is her channel. I've mentioned her before. I'll link her below. She did a haul and review of a bunch of Temu yarns, one of which was supposedly a cashmere yarn, and I featured one of those on one of my recent videos. And I've learned a lot about that yarn since then. If a fancy fiber is combined with, say, a nylon, and you do a burn test, you'll still get that little bead at the end, but it won't really be like the bead you would get if you burned, say, a full synthetic yarn. So I do believe that red yarn does have some animal fiber in it. I just don't know how much. So I placed another order for a different cashmere. I don't think that she talked about this one. I just happened to see it. I read the reviews. I'm getting a phone call. I read the reviews and thought I'm going to try it. And I have, since I received it, when did I receive it? Last Friday or Saturday. Might have been Saturday. Since I received it, I've done the break test. I've done the burn test. Those are the only 2 tests I've done. The break test I was very pleased with, although it has a very short staple length, which means the fibers are, the staple length is the length of each fiber. And the staple length on this is probably only, I don't know, maybe an inch long. So this yarn was accompanied with spools of thread, which are supposed to be used in conjunction with the yarn to provide stability and strength to the yarn when you make it into whatever you're making it into, a garment, a shawl, whatever it is. So anyway, this is called Baby Cashmere, and it feels a lot different than the red cashmere yarn that I got. It's not as silky feeling as that red, but it is soft. It is very soft. I did the break test on it last night, and like I said, the staple length was like that. And I didn't bring the thread in with me, but it comes with, I think, 4 spools of a really fine thread that is supposed to be used in conjunction with this. It doesn't, I don't know, I had to let it off gas because when I first got it, it smelled like a factory. And now it doesn't smell like a factory anymore, but I'm getting something, but it's not sheepy. So anyway, it says you can machine wash this at 40 degrees Celsius. Even says you can iron it 120 to 140 Celsius. No bleach. Dry clean or hand wash gently. Dry in the shade. And it says plain, Plane, unfold arid. So I guess dry flat in the air. Each ball comes with 6 balls. Each one is 50 grams. And then it says 15% regain. So I don't know whether that means there's 15% recycled material in here. I don't know. But it doesn't give the actual fiber content on the label. On the bag, however, let's see what the bag says. It says 100% cashmere on the sticker, but that's a handmade sticker, probably by the factory. Yeah, it really doesn't give any other information. Oh, here is, I did put the spools of thread in there. Okay, so here's the spool of thread. And there's only 2 in here, but I believe it comes with 4. So these little spools, and it's super fine thread. I mean, that's all twisted on itself. Super fine. And when you try to break it, it breaks very easily, of course. So you're supposed to use that in conjunction with the yarn to give stability and strength to your project. This dark emerald green, forest green, whatever you want to call it, is just beautiful. I love this green. And I thought I should save this till I'm ready to make Christmas stuff next year, because if I use this in combination with that red, oh my gosh, that would make a beautiful wrap or something. This is definitely a fingering weight. So it's a little bit thicker than that red. That red bordered on lace weight. So anyway, I got that. 6 balls of that. So I'll be anxious to use that. I am pretty happy with that yarn. I am pretty happy with that. Oh, and the burn test. Wool is supposed to self-extinguish. This did not do that. It caught fire and it burned very quickly. So that tells me that it could be plant-based. However, it did smell like hair. It didn't really smell like paper, which is an indicator that it is an animal fiber. So I don't know. All I know is it does not have anything synthetic in it. So I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. Along with the yarn in that Temu order, I got a few other things, including some knit blockers. I've been wanting a set of these for quite a while, because all I use is T-pins. Why won't it come open? All I use is T-pins. So with the T-pins, I usually stretch it too far and then I get the points with the pins. So I wish now I would have gotten 2 sets of these, because I don't know if this is going to be enough to block like a shawl, which I'm going to be blocking a shawl here within the next few days, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 12 of the longer ones, and then 8 of the shorter ones. So I'm looking forward to using those for the first time. So I got that in my Temu haul. And then I decided to purchase a few pairs of earrings. Every once in a while I just get on an earring kick. So, and I do have a nickel allergy, so it's usually kind of dicey if I order earrings without being able to see them first. 'Cause if they're not surgical steel, chances are I'm not going to be able to wear them very long. So here's one set. I think these are pretty. They're bigger than I thought they'd be, and they're heavier than I'm used to. And the mechanism is really weird. So it's got a post that goes through this arm, and I just thought this arm would swivel out. No. Oops. Oh, there it went. You have to push up on this, or you push up on it, because it's got a little, you won't be able to see it, but it's got like a little tooth that angles down, and that grabs the back. But yeah, that's a different kind of design. Pardon my tremor. That's a different kind of design that I'm used to. So it takes a little getting used to opening them up. So I got those, and then I got these cute little, these are so cute. My selfie camera doesn't autofocus, so I apologize. But this is supposed to simulate a dandelion when it's gone to seed. But the only thing that I don't like about these delicate type earrings is they end up bending. during shipping, you know, because they don't really protect them. So, yeah, I had to reshape that, which is fine. That's fine. So I got that. Those are so cute. And then you're gonna laugh when I show you these. These are so funny. And I thought they were gonna be smaller. If these were smaller, I would wear these all the time. So that's one strike. They're kind of big, and the metal is gold, which I don't really wear gold, so I should have paid more attention to that. But it's supposed to be a jellyfish. And they make noise. So I don't know how often I'll wear these. I mean, they're really big. They're really big. I'll go ahead and wear them since I don't have any in. And I'm sure these probably have nickel in them, so you know, if I wear them too long, they're gonna irritate me, I think. But they make noise. But if they'd have been smaller and more delicate, they'd have been so cute. But they had a bunch of different colors. I only paid attention to the color of the glass. If that's glass, I don't know, might be plastic. I didn't pay attention to the metal color, but that's okay. Oh, my hair. So, I think that's it for my Temu stuff. Another one I'm wearing. I bought a sleep dress, which I don't normally wear nightgowns. I have to wear pants to bed. It's just my preference. I just would rather wear pants, especially in the summertime when you're sweaty. You know, I don't think I need to elaborate on that. I'm going to take that off. So I thought, it's cute. I'm wearing it under my poncho, but it's cute and it's long sleeve. I have very few long sleeve things. But I've worn it to bed a couple of times. I'm going to like it more for just sitting around the house. But it's comfortable and it goes down below my knees. And I think it's just cute. It's gray and white. I'll capture a picture of it and I'll put it over here. How about that? I'm not going to model it today. Nope, not going to model it. So, all right, so that's, oh, one more purchase. This came from Amazon. And the reason I got this is because I am, for the first time, I'm a pattern tester for a designer. Her name is Karen Hooley. And I've never pattern test before, so I didn't know what you know the rules were. And first of all, she required a swatch, a gauge swatch, and that swatch had to be blocked. Well, oh, I have to let the dog in. Just a minute. All right, I pushed the wrong button. I do that sometimes. I push the stop instead of the pause, but that's okay. I can still put them together. So, she requires, you know, a block gauge swatch. So I had to rinse it and block it. which requires, extra steps because you got to roll it up in a towel and all that. I've been wanting a steamer for, I don't know, 2 years. I've been wanting a steamer. And so she prompted me to go ahead and pull the trigger on a steamer. And she shared the one that she uses and really likes. So I got me a steamer. On Amazon, Butyrol. I guess that's a combination of beautiful and natural. Butyrol. I haven't used it yet. But I will be shortly because I'm almost through with the pattern for the pattern test. And I was told that I can show a small portion of it. So I'm going to do that. Again, this is a pattern that should be releasing soon from Karen Hooley. So here's the portion of it. And from the looks of the pictures of the finished, I just have, I don't know, maybe 6 more rows of this and then a border, and I think I'm done. So I think I can get that done in just a few hours, I think. So, pardon me. Hi, Goob. You got schmutz on your face. Okay. Yeah, so that'll be getting finished soon. But I'm so glad I got the steamer. Because now I can just lay everything out on my blocking mats and just steam it. I mean, I really prefer to wash my stuff anyway. I really do. I prefer to wash it. But if it's something really big and it doesn't necessarily need washing, steaming is a great option. Not only that, I can use it for my clothes. If I have wrinkly clothes, I can steam the wrinkles right out. So, good investment. I always have distilled water on hand because I have a steam mop. So, yeah, for those of you who have steamers or steam mops, distilled water is best to avoid buildup of minerals and to keep it working correctly. So I got that. So I think that's all for purchases, other than, I don't think I shared this last time. I've been wanting this book for a long time. I had checked it out from a local library, but it just sat until I returned it, and I didn't copy, I didn't print any patterns out of it. So I've had this in my cart for a long time, and I just decided to do it. I'm a big fan of top-down crochet because there's virtually no seaming. If you know anything about me, you know I don't want to stitch anything. Whether that be granny squares together or garments together. I don't want to do it. Especially if it's a raw edge. I just don't want to do it. So I thought, this is the perfect book for me. And I am anxious to try something out of this book. I really am. It's got quite a few really nice patterns. Quite a few. Sweaters, cardigans. Yeah. Look at that. This is, well, oh gosh, I can't, okay. This is made with the link double treble. Let me show you again. This is made with the link double treble, which is the stitch that I'm doing right now with the Faded Pathways cowl, which I should have here to show you. I'll have to go get it. So that's the last of my purchases. So on to whips. I showed you the project for the pattern test. I put some miles in on my Mrs. Fezziwig, and I'm down to the very last repeat of the color sequence. It's supposed to have 3 color sequences, and I'm down to the last one, and I've got one more color for the first sequence of 7. So I've only got 21 more colors. So that's 42 rows. 42 rows. And then it wants you to do a final 2 rows of the main color, which is that. So 44 rows till it's done. So here's where it started. And see, there's another repeat of the main color. And then another repeat of the main color. And another repeat of the main color. Another one, because it's every 7. And then I'm down to here. So I took this to crochet group yesterday, and everybody there just oohed and awed over it. It is pretty. And if I sit down today and work on it, I could probably have it done. I mean, 44 rows, that shouldn't take long at all. And then I'm gonna have plenty of yarn left from these advents. So now I have to decide what to make with the leftovers. I haven't weighed them, but I imagine, I don't know, even if I have 10 grams left, that's something. That's a lot. So I did that, and so that was at crochet group yesterday. That was a good time. We had a new lady join us. Her name was Pat. She used to make doilies, she said, and she was working on some sort of amigurumi with fine yarn. I think it was a squid. And she donates these squids to like a neonatal unit. And she said that the babies will hold on to the tentacle, and it makes them feel like they're holding onto the umbilical cord. That's what she said. So that was kind of neat. And she was using a small hook, so she likes the finer yarns, which I found really interesting. Because most everybody at that group uses, like worsted weight yarn. They make blankets and they make headbands. My friend Jeanette and I are really the only two that work with the fancy fiber and the finer yarns. So she and I are kindred spirits. Oh, another purchase. Oh my God. See, there's a whole lot to catch you up on. I finally got a new refrigerator. You can see it right here. We've been in this house for just over a year. And the refrigerator has always given us trouble. It wasn't cooling properly, and the freezer was not freezing properly. I mean, it was keeping things frozen, but not frozen solid like I like. Like the ice cream, it was frozen, but And it wasn't to the point of soft serve. Don't get me wrong there. But it wasn't frozen solid like I like. And when we moved in, I reset the controls on it to where I wanted. I wanted the freezer as cold as it would go, and I wanted the fridge at a certain level. Well, when I did that, the freezer, everything in the freezer got softer, and the refrigerator, things started freezing. So I had to readjust, and I had to put the refrigerator at the very warmest setting, number 1. And then the freezer, I don't remember where I had it, but it was fine. The freezer stayed fine, but the refrigerator was what we had trouble with, because randomly it would just freeze stuff, including vegetable. Even in the vegetable crisper, it would freeze stuff. And, it's not good to freeze vegetables. Especially vegetables like cabbage that I buy for the rabbit. He doesn't really care, but if it was cabbage I was eating, I would care. So it would freeze that. It would freeze the milk. It would freeze water if I put water in there on the top shelf. So it would freeze top shelf stuff and crisper stuff. And we were battling this for the last year. And I finally mentioned it to the landlord just before Thanksgiving. And he said that he would find something over Black Friday. So I'm like, yay, I'll have a new fridge by December. Well, Black Friday came and went, and he said he couldn't find any deals. I find that hard to believe. So, I don't remember what, excuse me, I don't remember what happened that made me reach out to him again. Something had gotten frozen solid, I think, I think it was the water. Because I have these big 1-gallon jugs that I refill with filtered water at the grocery store. And I had one in the freezer, and it had nearly frozen solid. So I messaged him. He lives in California. I messaged him and explained what happened. I said, this isn't working. The refrigerator keeps freezing things. So he finally replaced it. Finally. And he had, before he replaced it, he had an appliance repair guy come out and look at the refrigerator. He tested it, and he determined that the compressor, which I knew was the problem, because it had started making, it had started making noise. That's what prompted me to contact him again. It had started making noise. Kind of like, I know what was making the noise. It was the compressor, which is metal. So it would almost sound like you're hitting 2 tin cans together. And I researched it on YouTube and determined that it was the compressor. When it cycled down, it would make this racket. So I sent him the link to the video. I said, this is what's happening. So he sent an appliance repair guy out. He tested the compressor and determined it was at 50%. It was only working at 50%. And based off of the numbers on the fridge, it was at least a 20-year-old refrigerator. So, and I think it was a GE. So with that, he had no choice. It would have been as costly to repair it as to replace it. It would have been over $1,000 to repair it. And then who knows what would go wrong with it on down the road. And now you're throwing more money at it. So he really had no choice but to replace it. So he finally decided to go ahead and replace it. And I think it came either last Thursday. I want to say last Thursday. They came and delivered it. And I've been wanting a French door refrigerator for such a long time. With the French doors and then the freezer drawer in the bottom. Beautiful. Stainless steel right there with black sides. So those magnetic shelves, before it was a white fridge, so those magnetic shelves there for my spices, they really stuck out. And now it looks so much better, I think, like that. But I just love the fridge. And no more frozen vegetables. And there's plenty of room. You know, if you wanted to put a sheet pan of fudge in there or something, you know, it'd be very easy to do that. So I'm really liking it. And then the second thing in this house has been the toilet. The toilet we had had what's called a flush mate in the tank. And basically what that is a pressurized unit. There's no water in the tank. It's just this flush mate system that's pressurized. And it's almost got like an industrial type flush mechanism that uses pressure, you know, to flush out the bowl. Well, those require a lot of maintenance from what I've researched. Sorry. And I think it was just getting worn out. He had a plumber come about a month ago, and I talked about that. It was a woman plumber. She switched out the flush mate for just the standard flush, you know, with the water in the tank and the flap and all that stuff. So she installed it, and there was not enough pressure to flush even a piece of toilet paper. So then she had no choice but to put the old system back in. And periodically my son would undo the tube, you know, that goes from the wall to the bottom of the tank or whatever. There would be sediment that would accumulate, and he would clean that out. And that would restore some of the pressure for a while. Well, that was happening again, so he went and cleaned that out again. It didn't help. It didn't help. As a matter of fact, it got really bad to where there was no pressure at all. We had to fill up a gallon pitcher to flush the toilet every time because there wasn't enough pressure. You'd push the handle and there was nothing. I mean, it would try to flush. It would go through the cycle, fill up the water and all that inside that, you know, pressurized tank, but it wouldn't flush anything. So I told him what happened, the landlord, told him what was going on. So he sent the plumber out again. I had to tell him what all the plumber did the last time. I guess he kind of ripped them a new one when he called because he didn't quite understand. I explained everything that happened when she was here the first time. So he thought it was their fault that they didn't resolve it then. She did what she could do. So anyway, she came back Saturday morning. Or no, Saturday afternoon. It was after yeah, it was Saturday afternoon. After I had market. I'll talk about market here in a minute. And she went and bought a new toilet. And she came in, I explained to her, Sam was up, so he and I were both explaining, what we've done in the past. And she said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and replace the toilet. I said, I don't think that's going to work. I think it's something in the line. And I thought she would try to auger it first. But I guess because he was not very kind to them, she's like, I'm going to go ahead and do what I'm going to do. And if he doesn't like it, too bad. I'm going to give you a new toilet. And if that doesn't fix it, then I'll auger it. So that was kind of funny. But she went ahead and took the old one out and put the new one in. And much to my surprise, that worked. It did not need augering. So if any of you know plumbers or things about toilets and can explain to me why just changing out the toilet would all of a sudden bring pressure, I don't understand it. Because when she came the first time, she took the flush made out, converted it back to just a standard system, with the water in the tank and the thing goes up and why didn't that work? Why was there no pressure with the old toilet and now with the new toilet there is? I don't understand it. So now we have a new fridge and a new toilet. So all is well here, and I couldn't be happier. So along with that leads me to the next subject, which is Bean. If you've watched my videos, you know that we've been having challenges with Bean. And the latest challenge was he jumped the fence and got into a fight with the neighbor's dog. So, there may be a legal battle coming soon. I don't know. I think I'm supposed to go to court tomorrow. I haven't gotten a letter yet. So anyway, when animal control came, he gave me papers and explained that if I'm going to keep him, I would need to take him to the vet, have him vaccinated and chipped, and then take that paper with me to court. Well, I didn't ask him at the time when he was here what would happen. Would I be able to rehome him? I didn't ask him about it. I did have his number, and I texted him, and I called him, left a message asking him about that possibility. I've never heard back from him. And he even told me, here's my number, call me or text me if you have any questions or need to contact me. Well, I did, but I'm not hearing back from him. So it was coming down to the wire where I'd have to make a decision. He was on 10-day rabies quarantine. So I had to make a decision really before tomorrow, the 28th, when I think I'm going to court. I need to call later today to see if maybe the letter just hadn't reached me yet. So I told Sam, I said, either you need to see if you can find him a home, or we're going to have to take him and have him put down. Because it's just too much for me to keep him here. I had to take him out on a leash every time because I can't risk him jumping, even outside of the 10-day quarantine. I can't risk him jumping the fence again. I have no tree to tie him to. Sam is my son, by the way. He had mentioned we could put a stake in the ground and he could just be cabled. Well, he's a strong dog, even at 60 pounds. Or is he 50 pounds? He's very strong. And he digs. So I wouldn't be able to trust him that he wouldn't pull that stake out of the ground unless it was actually in concrete. He would pull that stake out of the ground. And the ground is frozen now. So, you know, how... I didn't trust it. So I didn't even consider that possibility. At first I did, and then the more I thought about it, I wouldn't trust it. So Sam reached out to somebody that he knows and I guess explained the whole story. And that person decided to take him. This guy lives in a very, very, very small apartment. I can't even say it's a studio. I haven't seen it, but Sam described it to me. But he didn't have to die. So Sam took him over there, I think Friday. I think he took him over there Friday, around noon. Sam doesn't work on Fridays. He works 4 10-hour days. So he took him over there Friday about noon, along with his crate, along with some toys, and the water buffalo horn. And the guy had to be at work. I think he was leaving for work at 4 o'clock that day. So Bean wasn't going to be there very long before he would be isolated in that crate, you know, in a new place. So I felt really bad. I really did. I felt bad that he would have that stress on him. But another friend of Sam lives right across the hall, and apparently he heard him whine for a little while, but it wasn't bad, he said. But he has a new home. It may not be the best home, but hopefully this guy will love him and take good care of him and exercise him and love him and feed him well. I'm sure he'll be feeding him scraps. I don't know that he'll even go out, and he won't get the good dog food that he was getting here, but oh well. I even considered buying him dog food so that he would have good dog food, but whatever. It's out of my hands now. And I feel like a giant weight has been lifted off of me. And it's the most peaceful it's been over the last 6 months. So we're down to just the Goober dog, and I can leave doors open now. I don't have to put chairs in front of the entry to my kitchen right here, because Bean is a terrible counter surfer. So if I had anything on my counters or on my stove, you know, he'd get to it. He has a lot of bad habits. But now I don't have to deal with those bad habits anymore. And the neighbor doesn't have to worry about fence fighting anymore. Goober was out there last night, and I saw one of their dogs, and Goober just laid here on the grass and watched their dog, and it was great. So the only fence fighting now we have to deal with is I have German Shepherds at the back of the yard. So come springtime, I want to invest in those slats that you put through your chain link for privacy. And I think I'm going to do that. And hopefully that'll help. I wish the neighbors would invest in like that black mesh, because they don't have any shrubbery up against their side of the fence. I have shrubbery on my side of the fence. So trying to hang that mesh fabric for privacy would be really challenging. But I think those slats that you run between the chain link, I think that's doable. Unless I decide to buy the black mesh and take it to them and ask them to hang it on their side of the fence. I don't know. But we need to do something, because I'd rather have no fence fighting. Granted, those German Shepherds have great recall, but I can't get anything to grow. There's no grass now on the ground up by the fence because they run back and forth and there's no grass. So I need to do something, at least for that part of it. And I'd just rather not have any fence fighting. So hopefully all that is resolved. Because I just want peace. I just want peace. You know? That's what I want. Okay. So that is the story of Bean. He has a new home. I don't know how old the guy is, but he's young enough that he'll be able to manage him, I'm sure, just fine. I'm just concerned that because he lives in such a small place, Sam was telling me how small it is. It's smaller than like a studio. It's smaller than the apartment Sam lived in 3 years ago. So that's pretty small. Now, twin size bed. So it's very small. So that's really my concern, is that he won't get enough exercise. But again, he's alive. So there's that. Right? All right. All that aside, after crochet group, I went over to my friend Jeanette's because I needed to use her sewing machine. I got, do I have them? Where did I put the labels? I don't know what I did with them. Oh, I hope I didn't leave them at her house. What would I have done? Oh, I probably put them in my thing with my shawls. I went over to use her sewing machine because I got these labels that I wanted, care labels that I wanted to sew onto my shawls. So I did that. Her sewing machine was acting up, so I didn't get as many done as I had hoped. I might go back and do that again another day. But while I was there, we were talking about something, and she started going through her bins of yarn. She's got a beautiful craft room. Well, she came across this yarn. And it caught my eye, and she knew that it caught my eye, so she gave it to me. Look at this. This is so cute. I love the colors. I just love the colors. And it's just I think it's a nylon yarn. But wouldn't that be cute, like on the edge of a hat, or even to add a couple of rows into a hat. Of course, I wouldn't use this with a natural fiber. I mean, I could, but I probably wouldn't. So there's a bigger ball. And then she had a bunch of these little balls. Ellen, balls. I have balls. But, so she gave that to me. It's from Prism, custom dyed yarns by Prism out of St. Petersburg, Florida. And the colorway is called Orchard. It's 100% nylon. Dry cleaning recommended. Dazzle fiber content nylon. Dazzle fiber content 100% nylon. 116 yards. So I'm sure she used some of it, but I think that would be so cute incorporated into something. I mean, it's not soft at all. It's just cute and glittery, and I love the colors. So she gave me that. So I would use that with something. I don't know what. Let me go grab my Faded Pathways cowl. Okay. So this is the project that has the, now I can't think of the name of the stitch. Link double treble. So I started with the red. This is with the Patriotic Fade from Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. So we start with the red, working our way down, the white, and I counted the stitches the last time I worked on it, and I'm 10 stitches shy. I don't know how that happened, because you slowly increase on your way down. So you have 4 points where you increase. So I think until I can get up to the right stitch count, I'm going to add a 5th increase point. So if I'm 10 stitches shy, for those of you who are math whizzes, if I'm 10 stitches shy and I'm increasing every other row, how many times do I need to add a 5th increase before I'm caught up? If I'm increasing every other row till the end. If I'm 10 stitches shy. So I would imagine that's going to be 5. It's going to take 5 repeats or 10 rows to get caught up. Am I right? Because I'll be adding two more stitches every other row. So by the time I'm at 5 repeats, which is 10 rows, I should be caught up. Am I right? I think I'm right. But that's going to be super pretty. I'm excited to finish that. I don't know how I got off. I'm not sure. I mean, 10 stitches, that's significant. Something else that I started working on. Oh my gosh. There's dog hair everywhere. Just everywhere. Cannot get away from it. So I bought this yarn to make another beret for the lady at market that wants the beret. If you've watched my channel, you know all about the lady that wants the beret. And I've already made her one. And when I was there this past Saturday, she was there with the beret that I made her. And she said she loves it. But she wanted another one using the same pattern as the one that I made the purple one with. Well, I don't know where that pattern is. I thought I had it and I started making it, and this is something completely different, but I like it. And she said she likes it. So here it is. And basically how you get these little, I don't even want to call them baubles, but how you get this texture is you do a treble and then you do a single next to it, and it pushes that treble forward. But as you can see, it took on a bit of a mushroom cloud look. So I'm gonna rip it back to here, and you know, this was basically my doing. I wasn't following the pattern doing this. So I'm gonna rip it back to just before I start decreasing, or just after I stopped increasing, because you increase and then you do a few rows of just even all the way around, and then you start decreasing. Well, I decreased and then I just did even all the way around, and it looks like a mushroom cloud. I don't like it. So I'm going to rip that back, and because it's not deep enough. It's not, she tried it on before I did all this. This just looks terrible. She tried it on, but it's not, she said it's not poofy enough. So she needs more this before it starts to decrease. So I'll be ripping that back. I may rip back the whole thing and start over, because I'm going to hold it double with that. This is a Knit Picks palette in Marine Heather. Oh my gosh, in the sun, it's so beautiful. Oh, that is gorgeous. I don't know if you can really tell the heathered look of that yarn, but it's basically 2 plies, and it's blue and it's a green plied together. It's beautiful. So I think that'll be really nice paired with that, and that way it'll be thicker, because she said it was too open. She wants it to be thicker. So I'll be frogging that. The pattern that I used for that is a free pattern on Lion Brand, and it's called the Vineyards Beret. And it's made with a 6-weight yarn, which is why it's so poofy. So I think I'm going to frog back the whole thing, hold it double with that, and it'll look more like that. And I think she'll like that. I think she'll like it. And I'll be going back next Saturday and the Saturday after that. My sister has room for me. So last Saturday, I sold a few things. I sold, see, now I got to remember. I don't think I sold any shawls, but I sold the Mommy and Me beanie set, which I will share here. A lady that I got her phone number and we've been chatting, she wanted it to wear with her granddaughter. Well, her granddaughter's 4 months old. Excuse me. Her granddaughter's 4 months old. The beanie was like a newborn beanie. Did it stretch? Yeah, it stretched a little bit. But I had my doubts whether it would fit or not. Where did my tissue go? I had my doubts. And where's my tissue? Now I gotta blow my nose. Sorry for the noise. Anyway, she texted me later in the day and said it didn't fit. So I was on a mission to find that pattern again. I don't know about you guys, but I do my very best to save patterns that I either want to make or that I do make. I do my very best to save them. There's one place I haven't looked. I'll have to look at my my row counter because I save all my patterns there. I haven't looked there yet. That's the only place I haven't looked. But if it's a website, I'll save the bookmark. If it's a Ravelry, I'll save it there. If it's a download, I look through my downloads. I looked everywhere. I have printed patterns. I have a notebook of. I look through there. I cannot find this pattern, and it's driving me insane. And I don't know the stitch. So I'm going to look through my row counter, see if it's there. I don't know if it will be. That's the only place I haven't looked. So I told her, I said, I can't find that pattern because I want to make another baby hat. Well, if I make it a different pattern, then I'm going to have to make her a matching one, right? I would think she would want a matching hat. Even if it's the same yarn, it should be the same pattern. So she said, pattern doesn't matter. So I'm on a mission for that. Hopefully I can do that before next Saturday. I don't know if she's in a big hurry for it, but I'm in a big hurry to make it. So I sold that, and then if I make it, we'll just trade them out. What else did I sell? I don't remember what else I sold. Did I sell another hat? I sold a cowl that I made more than a year ago using a knit crate yarn. Oh, there's my tissue. Using a knit crate yarn. Excuse me. I hate having a runny nose. So that sold, and that was a really nice cowl. So that sold. The Mommy and Me sold. Gosh, I can't remember what else sold, but I know I sold a few things. One of the other vendors was admiring a shawl, and she liked the colors in it, and she wondered whether she could use it as a table runner. Well, it's a triangle shawl. It's a triangle shawl, so it really can't be used as a table runner. But I told her that I would come home and I would see what yarn I had that I could make her a table runner if she gave me the dimensions. So she did, and I found a yarn, but it's a yarn art cake. So if you know yarn art cakes, it goes from one color to the next color to the next color, and it's usually, sometimes it's a fade. But if I do that, if I use that yarn, it's the right colors that she wants. But if I use that yarn, it won't be symmetrical in color. It's going to go from this color to the end and then be this color. And I don't know that that would be very attractive. So I thought I'll find a pattern that works from the center out. That would be symmetrical. But I really don't want to do the granny stitch. So if any of you can help me figure out or have a pattern of a long rectangle that'll be, because there's going to be math involved. It has to be, it can only be a certain width, and then it has to be longer than it is wider, of course. So I need to figure out how long that beginning chain needs to be so that once I get to the right length, the width is okay also. So if any of you can head me in the right direction or tell me what my starting chain should be, or anything like that, reach out to me. My email is on my About Me page. Email me if you can help, because I'd really like to make that table runner for her with that yarn. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pick a different yarn that may not be a color changing yarn. It would just have to be a solid, maybe. A moss stitch would be beautiful. So I might look that up. Rectangular moss stitch. Rectangular moss stitch from the center in the round. That's what I would like to do. That would make a beautiful runner. It would take a while, but it would be a beautiful runner. So any help would be appreciated very, very much. Let's see. So market went well. Yeah, and then after market I came home, and then the plumber came and all that was done. What else? I think that's about it. I showed you my cowl, showed you my yarn, my beanie, my pattern test, my fezziwig. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I waited for this to the end, but I have a new granddaughter. She was born on Inauguration Day. What time was it? I wasn't there when she was born. Of course, she's only my third grandchild. The other two, I was there for the birth. This one, I was not there. She was born, I'd have to go back and look at my texts and see. But it was the middle of the afternoon, I believe. I want to say she was born about 3:45 p.m. on the 20th. 7 pounds, 12 ounces. Her name is Emma Jane. She has a head full of really dark hair. I'll put some pictures right here. Lots of dark hair. Of course, she's just beautiful. She looks to me to resemble more of her brother than her sister. The button nose that Ben had. Claire's nose was very different. No, Goober. Oh, the Germans must be out. You see the Germans? I don't see them, but he must see them. Nope, you can't go out. You can just watch. It's okay. Anyway, she didn't have any complications. She's a perfect baby girl. And so she was born on Monday. She went home on Wednesday. I believe Wednesday. Yeah. So she's a week old today. She's already a week old. It was funny to watch the reaction of the siblings. Ben, he's 12. He just turned 12. He was a little nervous to hold her. Claire, she's 8, and she seems really put out. And Dad was kind of almost forcing her to hold her when clearly she really didn't want to. And he was just saying things that I really didn't agree with. You know, he needs to just let her adjust to the fact that now she's not the baby anymore. And he just needs to let that run its course, because it will. She will adjust to the new baby, and she'll want to help her mom, and she'll want to help the baby and all this stuff. But, you know, when she's only hours old, there's time for that later. This should have been a time for peace and joy and happy, and not, Claire, you need to practice holding your sister. No, I didn't really care for that. But that's his personality. You know, what can you say? I was just really concerned with how he handled that, because that's setting her up for being resentful to me. So anyway, she's a beautiful baby girl, and Mom's doing fine. Everybody's doing fine. And so that'll probably be it for my grandchildren. They're not going to want any more. Oh, the last thing. This is as significant as the baby. My oldest son was there. I won't go into the whole story, but he was there. I haven't seen him in over 7 years. Haven't talked to him, anything. And he was there. I think I've already talked about this. Actually, this is ringing a bell. So if I'm repeating, I'm sorry. But it was great to get to see him. And I'm hoping, I think I put it on my other channel, actually. I think I put it on my other channel. I'll link my other channel below. Walking with the Lord. It was kind of a, why did that make that noise? It was kind of a testimony video. But I haven't seen him in over 7 years. Haven't talked to him. Haven't texted him. No communication at all over the last 7 years. And he knew I was going to be there. And he still decided to go. My son-in-law actually had to go pick him up because he doesn't have a car now. So knowing I was going to be there, he still decided he wanted to go. He didn't have to. He could have waited until they were home to go see the baby. He didn't have to go to the hospital, but he did. So, yeah, it went very well. I was very happy with how it went. And I'm hoping that I'll get to see him again very soon. I told him that I loved him and I missed him. And for him to call me, I'd like to take him to dinner. And so hopefully I'll be hearing from him. He can get my phone number from my daughter or my son-in-law. So I'm not worried about that part. But that was great. That was absolutely great. So I think that's all as far as catching you guys up. The last thing I want to mention is the giveaway that I'm doing. I will find that video and link it below for you to go watch it if you haven't seen it. And for those of you who don't know, I advise you to wait till the end because I didn't want to mention giveaway to avoid, you know, scammers and all that. I didn't want to mention giveaway. So There's no giveaway in the title of the video, but I will locate that video and put it below. You have to, I was told people to watch till the end for a special announcement, and some of you didn't watch till the end because there's only a handful of people that mention the secret word. So I'm going to link that video below if you want to take part in that. Watch till the end. And the deadline for that is, I believe, the 25th of February. February? No. I don't know the date. But I gave it a month. I gave it 30 days. But I can't remember the date. Maybe it's the 20th. No. Because it was longer ago that I did that video. It might be the 20th. Today's the 27th. It might be the 20th. I don't know. But go back and watch that video all the way to the end. And comment with that special word to be part of that giveaway. So I wanted to remind you guys of that before I signed off. So we are just over an hour. I think that's enough to catch you up on everything. I'm sorry this was such a long video. If you stayed this long, I really appreciate it so much. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. I'm expecting some yarn soon, hopefully this week. And if you don't know, Joann's, it looks like, is going to be going out of business. So the panic buying has begun. And I took part not once, but twice. And I'm trying not to place a third order because it's not in the budget. So I'll be sharing those orders coming up soon and keeping you updated on whips and when I get these projects finished. So until next time, you guys, thank you again for joining me. I hope you have a great week. Stay warm if you're where it's cold. Stay cool if it's where it's warm. And I hope you'll take part in that giveaway. All the details are in that video that I will link below. So with that, I will let you go. Remember, God loves you. Jesus loves you. I love you. And I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.